All I've eaten today is a Monster Energy and some leftover lemon cake. Let's fucking go! Psh, whoop, the sound of this start Sam still has not made an opening sting yet. Hello, and welcome to another year in review video with me, Samalytical. 2025 is officially done and dusted, and 2026 is here, getting its footing, trying to work out its bearings, and hopefully setting up for something good. A lot of stuff's happened in the last year, some of it planned and some of it not so planned, but all of it very worth talking about. So without further ado, let's jump into a little look at the goals I set myself this time last year and whether or not I've managed to achieve them. As with every year, in 2025 I set myself 4 goals, and as with every year, I didn't quite hit them all. First up, we have the ever-present arbitrary number of followers on Twitch goal, and this year we're going for 1,000 followers. As I even alluded to last year, this is very much an arbitrary number of followers goal, and we didn't hit the arbitrary number I chose. We made a really good increase though, coming from 719 followers at the start of the year to currently sitting at 870, which is a 21% increase on the number we had before, which is really good. And actually, if we take into account drop off, according to Twitch's metrics at the end of the year, I actually picked up 218 new people clicking that follow button, which equates to a 30% increase on top of what I had before. So, yeah, this has always been an arbitrary number that I don't really care about, but that's good. I did good, and yeah, I'm going to admit that. Bet you didn't see that coming. The second goal I've got, I'm going to title Handle Your Business. The charity stream and the whittling stream. And in 2025, I whittled not once, not twice, but 3 times on stream. And while what I created weren't exactly masterpieces, they're better than blocks of wood, and they're coming from someone who's never done this before. So the goal was to whittle. I whittled. Goal achieved. But it wasn't just in whittling streams we managed to overachieve this year. We streamed for charity not once, but twice. The first time for Mermaid's Gender, where, as a community, we raised a staggering £1,300 to help trans and non-binary youth. And then in November, alongside the lovely Rug and Joe, we streamed for Copperfield, helping raise awareness for breast cancer and reminding people to check their chests. As a whole, I think we can say business was handled in 2025, and I'm looking forward to handling some more business in 2026. That sounds wrong. I try and utilise my YouTube channel a bit more. The scripted videos continue to be something that eludes me. I don't know what it is, but I just don't seem to ever get started on them. I really hope that'll change in 2025. It really didn't, but we'll get to that in a second. In 2025, I put out 10 videos onto my YouTube channel, including last year's review video. That's a genuine improvement on what had been on there before, and also involved 4 whole videos that were planned, edited and ready to go up on the channel over Halloween while I was also taking a 2-week break. That level of forward planning is just not something I'd done before, so I'm proud of that. And I hope that's the kind of forward planning I can bring into future videos on the channel. But now for the looming question. The scripted videos that have eluded me for so many year in review videos, did I get them done? Well, the short answer is no. No scripted videos got put up onto the channel. However, work on one scripted video was almost 2/3 completed back in May, and then I had to sail off to TwitchCon, came back, it was Pride Month, I had some other big news that we'll get to later, and I just lost the flow, and it has sat like that ever since, uncompleted. Which does mean technically I have a 2/3 completed video ready for me to just knock the last few nails into and put up on the channel, but it's still not been achieved in this year, and honestly, falling off the wagon for 6 months, I'm not sure that's something I can celebrate. So it's a mixed bag. There's also another looming question in my mind that I haven't quite confronted yet as to whether I'm putting the right stuff out onto my channel. The edited What You Missed videos are great, but they don't really seem to make a dent. And I guess the hope was that the scripted videos would maybe change that. And then I didn't put that focus onto making sure I made those videos. I focused on what was the easy stuff to put out onto the channel and neglected the other stuff. And I think that was a mistake. I think going into next year, I maybe need to balance it a bit better. But I really like those What You Missed videos. You should give it a look. There's a playlist up here somewhere. It's not just clips from the stream. I've really put some fun into my editing, I think. So go check them out. Watch a couple. See what you think. And remember, likes, comments, and everything engagement-wise really does help the algorithm. So, stick it on in the background. Send it to your nan. I don't know. The final goal for 2025 is something that's been sorely needed for a while, and it is to finally upgrade the stream. This one is plain and simple. I just did not make time for that, and so I did not do it. I made a comment last year that it was 2.5 years since the last update. Well, it's now 3.5 years since the last update, and that's really bad. That's really bad. I need to fix that. That needs to go higher priority in the new year. And finally, something new, the meme goal of 2025, where I pick a meme for the channel that I'm not actually serious about at all, but hey, we're all going to pretend we are. So this year, I would like to try and beat the Twitch Hype Train world record. Obviously no. But we did beat the channel Hype Train record, which is a step in the right direction. But before we move on, it's time to have a look at the things that I achieved this year that weren't actually part of the plan, but were achievements nonetheless. First off, with the completion of Dark Souls 3, we added another game to the Samalytical Soulsborne rankings. And it's in a position that upset a few, but I stand by it. I attended my very first TwitchCon this year, and while I have thoughts about how it went and things I wish I'd done differently, I had a real blast. It was a lot of fun, and I will definitely be going next year. This June during Pride Month, I put together a little initiative to play some LGBTQ+ themed games and games by LGBTQ+ creators. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the games, and I think the community seemed to really enjoy them too. So I think I'll probably do the same next year. I can legitimately say that a bunch of other content creators who I personally respect have been subscribed to me at some point in this last year, even if the majority of those were due to chat trolling, but still happened. And speaking of other creators I look up to, I continued to occasionally pluck up the courage to raid into them. I didn't manage to do a stream anniversary this year, but I did do a birthday stream, and the community just blew me away with their generosity. We have a new highest number of subs on the channel now at 180, which is actually double what it was last year. I'm blown away. And finally, last but by absolutely no means least, coming into the end of this year, I was accepted to become a member of the Cosmic Hearts stream team. The team is full of a bunch of really fantastic individuals, and I'm really quite honoured that my little weird content on the internet impressed these people, and they said, yeah, that person. We want that person on board, raising money for charity with us, and I just can't wait to see what we do in 2026. I'm genuinely excited. And now let's pivot away from my content to other people's content that I consumed this year. It's my media review of the year. Starting off with the largest category of them all, and that is the games that I streamed this year. As an aside, I asked my wife this year what she thought I was going to pick, and she provided me with a full set of choices. So we're going to have a little counter down here on what my wife thought and whether she's right or not, just for fun. She doesn't win anything for being right, other than the right to lord it over me that I'm predictable. Last year I made a comment in the video that it was a tough category because there were so many games, but this year there are so many games. I don't know why there are so many games on this list. I didn't think I'd done anything out of the ordinary, but I had to expand this to go sideways more. There is more screen here being taken up than was originally allotted. And there's some really good games on this list as well. It's been a hell of a year on stream. I've enjoyed a lot of what we've played. But it will probably come as no surprise when I announce my Game of the Year, because apparently it's winning Game of the Year everywhere. It's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I actually picked up Clair Obscur as a sponsored stream. I'd never heard of the game before it came into my inbox, and I thought, hey, this sounds interesting, let's give it a go. And it turns out it is potentially the best game I have played the entire time I've been streaming, if not for years prior to that. Clair Obscur is such a good game. Everything done about it is just art. And I don't just mean that the subject matter is art. It's art. I don't remember the last time a game had me theorizing the way Clair Obscur did. I don't remember the last time a game had me venting in DMs to a friend about how good it was and our theories on what was going to happen. In fact, I don't think there's ever been a game that has inspired me and a friend to potentially put together an entire podcast because we want to talk about it. And if that sounds like something you'd like, then Spikecast coming in 2026, possibly, hopefully, maybe, depends if we pull our fingers out. And with the news recently that Clair Obscur may actually be set to become its own epic franchise, I am totally sold. The game was fantastic. Give me more, please. Give all the money to Sandfall Interactive and any other small studio that wants to make something genuinely new and genuinely inventive. We need more original games, not just churned out versions of stuff we've had before. If this is a sign of things to come in gaming, then I am sold. I am sold. And it's not just because of Ben Starr and Jennifer English, although they do help everything they're in. And if they'd like to come on our podcast, me and my friend Elle. Next up is games I played in my personal time, and this list is a little bit smaller, you could say, but still contains some really great games. Sherlock Holmes, The Devil in Me, and The Quarry were played actively in co-op with my wife, and we had a blast playing all of them. The rest were just me, although my wife may have watched a little bit from the sofa. But all of the games I've played this year, I've genuinely enjoyed. They've genuinely been really good. But when it comes to the winner of my favourite game that I've played this year in my personal time, there can only be one, and it is Life is Strange True Colours. The Life is Strange games have a real ability to get under my skin and get their tendrils into my heart and just really milk it for all of the emotion that can. And True Colours was no different. I found myself coming out the other end of that game with a real set of emotions, and genuinely, I've said this before, but if you've not played a Life is Strange game, play it, try it. They're such an experience, and if you'd like to see a playthrough, there's one on YouTube. Movies now, and this one was actually quite tough because when I looked at the movies that I'd watched this year, there wasn't really any that stood out as an, oh my god, that movie. So I sat down and looked through the movies I watched this year and thought, which of these left me with the best lasting impression? And out of that, I decided I was going to give it to a movie that I came out of the other end of going, gosh, that was a really well-made movie. And that movie is Smile 2. I'm a big fan of horror movies anyway. They're kind of a comfort watch for me, but Smile 2 was a really well-made horror movie. The way it builds tension, the practical effects, the fake outs, and the acting on show from Naomi Scott just really elevate it to a level that's above your normal shock and horror, oh, isn't the blood and guts good horror movie. I remember coming out of the first Smile thinking, yeah, that was a horror movie, I guess. But Smile 2 completely blew that out of the water. It is such a well-made film, and I would suggest you go watch it if you have a chance. You don't even have to be a fan of horror movies. I think it's just a good movie in general. Just as an aside, my wife admitted when making this prediction that she didn't actually know what movies I'd watched this year, so Suzume is just her favourite movie of the year, and to be fair, it was a pretty damn good movie. When it came to TV, I was actually quite surprised looking back at the list, because I think what I did in 2025 was watch a bunch of TV at the start of the year, and a bunch of TV in the last couple of months of the year, and nothing in between, and so it felt like I hadn't watched anything when I was thinking back on my recent memory. Rick and Morty, I'd spent ages not watching because, well, have you seen Rick and Morty fans on the internet? But it's not that bad. What If and Love, Death and Robots were both... They seem to be suffering from the continued series running out of that spark disease. But I'm hopeful. I hope they keep making more. Every year when I watch Love, Death and Robots, there's always a bit of a mixed bag, but there's always one or two that stick out as, oh, I really like that one. Not really this year. Maybe one, but nothing that made me go, oh, hell yeah. Black Mirror was my TV show of the year last year when I watched the first 6 seasons, and season 7... it didn't really live up. But the real breakout of the year has been finally getting around to watching the Haunting series with Hill House and Bly Manor. Oh my god, those shows are so good. Oh, I could talk for hours just on like one episode. The Two Storms episode is art. It is art. It is so well done. But when it comes to actually picking my favourite for the year, it's actually going to go to Bly Manor. While Hill House was really technically well done and let me have loads of moments of, oh, I like what they've done there. Oh, I see what they've done here. Oh, the theories. Oh, just a little bit. Bly Manor actually hit me squarely in the feels. It hit me squarely in a spot that I didn't know was so vulnerable, and I genuinely finished the final episode of that series in literal tears. So, Bly Manor, you bastard of a show, you made me feel real, genuine human emotion, and now you're just going to have to be my show of the year. Shout out goes to my great friend Geek for the reason I actually watched these series. Their constant telling me that I should finally got into my brain, and here we are. I will most likely watch the rest of Mike Flanagan's work in 2026, and so they will show up on next year's list. And if they don't, then I guess assume I died. Anime now, and if you're thinking this list looks kind of sparse given the stuff that's been released in the last year, then you're right, and I know it. I kind of fell off the bandwagon of anime watching this year. But of the things we did watch, it's a really good bunch. There's not a single thing here that I wouldn't say is well worth watching if you get a chance. But when it comes to a winner, there can really only be one winner for me, and it is Lord of Mysteries. That anime is just gorgeous. I mean, how am I supposed to look at these fight scenes and not be like, yes, no, more of this, please. Please, more of this. Would you like my child? I don't have one. I'll make one just to trade to you for more of this. Lord of Mysteries is also my wife's gateway drug to get me into Chinese animation, and damn it, it's worked. And I imagine there'll be a few more on the list next year, given that she's now managed to pop my animated Chinese cherry, to put it weirdly. And that is where we would normally wrap the media section, but not this year, because in a shock turn of events, I actually read some books. Now, before you get your hopes up, it's not a massively long list, but it's a whole lot longer than it has been in the past few years. And there's some really good books on this list, and it could genuinely be a really hard. It's Changes. It's Changes. My book of the year is Changes. Everyone kept telling me to read Changes. Now I've read Changes now, and you were all right. It's Changes. I need to read more. I need to read more of this series. So with my media review of 2025 complete and me proven to be almost entirely predictable to the woman I married, it's time to move forward to 2026 and have a look at some goals that we're going to set for the coming year. So in my goals for 2026, I've decided I'm going to try and strike a balance between realistic and optimistic. You can let me know how I do. Starting off strong for the 6th year in a row, it's that old favourite, the arbitrary number of followers goal. Last year, we had a goal of 1,000 followers. We didn't hit it. So this year, like any good marketing executive, we're going to aim for 1,500. No, we're going to go for 1,000 followers again. Just keep the same goal and keep driving towards it. That sounds healthy. That's healthy growth, right? Didn't hit the goal, keep trying for the goal. Is this how this works? I'm trying really hard here. Is that how this works? Our second goal for this year is something I had a real problem with last year, and that is the number of times raiding out at the end of a stream. Raiding out is a big part of networking, and it's also just a thing that should be easy for me to do, and I get very up in my own head about it. So making it a goal, making it something that I'm trying to drive towards, hopefully will help me push through whatever barrier I've got up here mentally that is stopping me and making me go, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, these people won't want to have to put up with me. Oh, why would they want that? I'm great. I'm fucking fabulous. They should want to see me. I've never been upset when anyone's raided into me, so why would anyone be upset when I raided into them? And if they are, that's their fucking problem. So in 2026, I'm going to aim to raid out in at least 75% of my... That seems an achievable goal. That gives me the ability to be genuinely just too tired or for issues to happen and I don't bugger my goal, but it's also a nice high goal that means in that moment where I'm doubting myself, I can think, no, this is what you want to do, Sam. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And spread the love of this wonderful community that I have here. Let someone else look after the children for a bit. Our third goal is going to harken back to another thing I struggled with my goals last year, and that is the scripted videos. As previously mentioned, I put work into the scripted videos, but I never actually finished one and released it because I was focusing on other things, namely the stream highlights, the what you missed, the stuff like that. So my goal for 2026 is going to be to put out some of those scripted videos, but also to have at least 1/3 of my output to the YouTube channel be those videos. I think the stream highlights are great. I really enjoy the editing and the putting them together, and I think they're really good video. But I think focusing on them is stopping me making the original content and video ideas that I really want to make for this channel. So if I can manage to get at least 1/3 of the videos I make to be not just going through the quite serious backlog of stream clips that I need to edit together into what you missed, I'll be happy. So watch this space. I think I've genuinely got some great ideas and I really hope you're going to enjoy them. My fourth goal, I didn't actually have until a few hours before recording this. I was originally going to have a less quantifiable goal, but then I saw something on TikTok and looked into it and went, do you know what? Why not? So our final goal for 2026 is to take part in the 1000 rejection challenge. What is the 1000 rejection challenge, you may ask? The idea is just apply for stuff. Just keep applying, and you keep applying until you get rejected 1000 times. Do I think I'll be able to apply to 1000 things in a year? Probably not, unless I get really, really stupid with it. But it's a great idea. Why not? What have I got to lose? A rejection is just that. It is, nah, not this time, mate. Doesn't hurt me. I am back at square one, where I was if I didn't apply. I feel there can be a lot of fear that rejection means you're getting knocked down to a lower level, but the more I think about it, the more I realise that if I don't even apply, I'm rejecting myself. So that sounds like work. Let someone else do it for me. And finally, the big moment that you've all been waiting for, I know. That's right, it's the meme goal of the year! The meme goal of the year is the goal that we're not really seriously aiming towards. It's just something fun. Hey, why not? It'll be a laugh. And the meme goal of 2026 is #SamForPartner 2026. That's right, we're going to see if I can hit Twitch Partner in 2026. But remember, we're not serious about it. We're just having fun. But what if? So there you have it. 2025 is complete and 2026 has already started and is already potentially shaping up to be a very interesting year. Don't forget to like, share the video, leave a comment, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. There's some new stuff coming to the channel this year. There definitely is. There definitely is. I know I've said it before, but there definitely is. If you'd like to find me elsewhere on the internet, it's Samalytical on every platform on the internet that I partake in. We stream 3 times a week on Twitch, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, with the occasional Sunday and Friday streams. So all that's left for me to say is thank you very, very much to everyone who has supported me through 2025, whether it's on YouTube, the streams, or just hanging out on my Discord. It's all very much appreciated, and I'm very, very happy and proud of the community that I've managed to build up around me. Hopefully 2026 is going to bring some great things for the channel and for my content as a whole. So strap in. I'm excited, and I hope you can be excited too. Bring on 2026.